Backbeat is proudly sponsored by Santa Barbara Bowls Education Outreach. Welcome to Backbeat, a show highlighting people that make a difference using music in our very own community. I'm Shannon, and we tape our show right here at Playback Recording Studio, a cutting-edge recording facility for film, television, and music production located in the beautiful city of Santa Barbara. Coming up, the love of engineering and the passion for music have taken Seymour Duncan and Kathy Carter from a small loft repairing guitars to what it is today. Now, celebrating 35 years, the Seymour Duncan Company is the largest maker of guitar pickups in the world. We meet up with Seymour Duncan and find out what makes his company so unique and why the employees get their groove on a couple times a day. Also, we take a tour to see how guitar pickups are made and visit the Seymour Duncan Custom Shop, where they build guitar pickups for rockers like Eddie Van Halen and ZZ Top. Name a rock band and they probably play with a Seymour Duncan pickup. Plus, many people may not know this, but Seymour Duncan started out playing in a band and is an accomplished guitarist. Seymour and his band will even play for us at the end of the show. So keep it here and keep it loud. We'll be right back. Santa Barbara Bowls Education Outreach provides much needed support for music and performing arts events and programs for area students. $1 of every ticket sold to bowl events helps to fund arts education throughout Santa Barbara County. A big thanks to Playback Recording Studio for supplying the location for Backbeat. Playback Recording Studio is a cutting-edge recording facility for film, television, and music production.
Santa Barbara Backbeat. Find us on Facebook. Search SB Backbeat.
Evan, creating the tone that sets you apart. What exactly does that mean to all of us who aren't in the guitar pickup world?
Great question, Shannon. See, for a lot of guitar players, they're not satisfied with the generic tone that comes with stock guitars. Not to say that there's anything wrong with stock pickups, but they might not be the right pickup for the guitarist. Maybe the guitarist wants more output. Maybe they want more high-end, more harmonics, or maybe they want to emulate the sound of an artist that they particularly admire. Well, that's why at Seymour Duncan, we make hundreds of different pickup models so that all guitar players can have the tone that sets them apart.
Wow, that's way more in depth than I ever would have thought. Thank you. And creating the tone that sets you apart. That statement also represents Seymour's passion for business, his employees, the community, and as a guitarist. So let's find out how it all got started.
Around 1976, I had moved here from England, and I was I was a guitar player doing sessions over there, working and doing a lot of guitar repair. I was working at the Fender Sound House at the time in London. So when I came over recording, we were staying in Topanga, California, Topanga Canyon, and I saw this guy, and he says, "Oh, you want to play music?" So we had a little band and everything. So one day we were out riding our horses, and we stopped at an ice cream shop, and then I met this lady, Kathy Carter, and she liked what my ideas about manufacturing and stuff, and she was the real brains with the business side of it. Eventually we moved up to Santa Barbara, and then we started doing a lot of repair work, and then I was working at a store called Jensen Music, and I was their repairman in the back room, And then from there we just started making a lot of, we were doing rewinds, repairing old pickups from many of the guitar players out there. And we were doing stuff for like Joe Walsh and the Eagle guys, and a lot of clients that I had from England, Peter Townsend. We were the late Gary Moore, who just passed away. We were doing a lot of repair work for him, and my old friends Roy Buchanan and Jerry McGee, who was in the band The Ventures. So for me, I just had a real passion, and every pickup that I worked on, I would write all the specs to. So we have a real good library of all the whole world market of whatever pickup is out there. We've done it or worked with it. And it's funny too, a lot of guys don't know I'm even a guitar player. They think like Seymour Duncan, Procter & Gamble or something, but I'm a player, and I love it, and I've worked with so many great people, over the years, playing on stage with them and done shows with them, and I've played with Dwayne Eddy, I've played with Adrian Belew from the Talking Heads and David Bowie's band, and just so many great guitar players. I've been on stage with Les Paul, I played with Gatemouth Brown. I mean, just so many great people over the years. I mean, hundreds of them. One day I get this call and it's James Taylor, and he says, "Seymour, I have one of your guitars, and I just love it. And, I love the neck on it and everything." And everybody I talk to, I get something from, like their sound or their tone or whatever the problem they're having or how to fix the guitar. I've learned so much from other people. And so for me, it's worth $1 million, So I'm proud of that.
Here's a short note for you. The favorite guitar player of Jimi Hendrix? That would be Billy Gibbons of the band ZZ Top.
Santa Barbara Bowls Education Outreach provides much needed support for music and performing arts events and programs for area students. $1 of every ticket sold to bowl events helps to fund arts education throughout Santa Barbara County.
Santa Barbara Backbeat. Find us on Facebook. Search SB Backbeat.
How's it going? It's Phil from Notes for Notes. Just want to take a second and introduce you to our newest location, the Music Box at the Santa Barbara West Boys and Girls Club. For those of you who don't know Notes for Notes, we're a nonprofit organization here in Santa Barbara, and we build these facilities, after-school recording studios packed with drums, guitars, turntables, computers to make beats, and a recording studio. It's all completely for free for any youth wanting to come and learn and make music. I also want to thank one of our biggest sponsors, Seymour Duncan, maker of the world's best guitar pickups. They've been doing it for 35 years, and to commemorate that occasion, we're putting on a show this summer that's going to benefit Notes for Notes, celebrate Seymour Duncan, and featuring the Steve Miller Band. It's July 19th at the Libero Theater, so get your tickets. I also want to introduce Taylor here. He's our program director at the West Side, and he's going to give you a tour of the studio.
Program director over here at the West Boys and Girls Club. I want to take you guys on a little tour of the music box. Let's go take a look. So in here, actually, this is our mixing and control room. We've got everything from synthesizers to all the recording programs necessary for any of these kids making whatever type of music they desire. Synthesizers, MIDI trigger finger patterns, for making little beats on the computer and whatnot. We've got a tech station to take care of any necessary repairs and things like that. We've got these individual stations equipped with MIDI controllers, all the programs necessary for making the music. These kids can sit here with headphones and work on projects, no sweat. We're here to answer questions for them left and right, so it works out really well. This, however, is where our main console is set up. This is where all the recording projects are taken care of on this end. The kids get to go in the track room while I sit out here and I tweak some knobs, and they can also inquire about what to do and how to use all this equipment as well, so it's really great. Also got a track room in here. Let's go check it out. All right, so this is our track room. As you can see, it's a good size. We can actually record a full band in here. It's really great. Acoustic drums, more stations, the whole bit. Also, don't forget our other locations. We've got the 1235 Teen Center, and then we also have the Music Box across the street from Santa Barbara High School as well. They have the same hours of operations, Monday through Friday. 3 to 5, come in, do jams, lessons, instructions, the whole bit. 5 to 7 is our recording time, and it's all completely free, so come on down, come rock with us.
Paul, you're lucky enough to be able to work at Seymour Duncan. What's one thing that you find really unique about working in the office?
Well, for me, the most unique thing is that we're actually building product right here in Santa Barbara. We have a workforce of about 80 employees that manufacture these products, and it's a product unlike most of our products in today's society. We throw them away when we're done. These products last hundreds of years, and there's a connection through music that is it's magical. And you know, we try to make that connection with the employees at work that are working on them.
So you build a product that lasts, which is so rare, and you have lots of fun. And speaking of fun, what is with all that dancing? That's just one of the many skills you need at Seymour Duncan. So let's find out what it's like to work there.
For me, it's been a passion, a hobby, growing up, loving guitar and working on guitars, and then turning it into a business. And then the great thing for me is being able to have the employees and have them work here and grow up and have families and to be able to support them, you know, and it's just a good feeling.
even on the production floor, everybody knows that if there is a problem that they can, that they have, could be medical, could be anything, Seymour Duncan is there to, to really back them up. And this is what makes a really great environment to work for. And if we're all happy, we make happy pickups, and happy pickups make happy music,
But it's all the guys behind me that are part of what I do. They're my inspiration, to want to do this every day.
They understand the problem that we have, and also it's very flexible here.
When you work in the same place for 31 years, you can see it like an MTV and stuff like that. You can see it a difference because now we have our logo into all the pickups. I'll enjoy seeing that and thinking about I built some of that stuff.
And we did the Discovery TV show many years, about 6 years ago, 5-6 years ago, called Big, and we built the world's largest guitar, electric guitar, and we made the pickup here, and we had all the employees being involved with it, so it was a great fun thing for them too to see part of their stuff, because they came through the factory and the employees were on TV and everything, so it was really neat.
There's a lot of love that goes into building the product, and we try to make the environment, kind of a fun place to work.
We can either put some cumbia, or we can put some John Fogerty, or we can put some, you name it, we have danced to everything.
It started off as just doing stretches and things because we do a lot of repetitive motion. But it's a music company too, so the idea was we would kind of introduce music into that routine to kind of make a connection to what they were doing, but we also found, wasn't really planned that way, but it had such a benefit because for 5 minutes in the morning and the afternoon, people get to stop what they're doing and they have fun.
It helps us to stretch our muscles.
Fun, and they start smiling, and we like it like that because it's different.
From both Seymour and Kathy, their values, they're very compassionate people. They care about the employees. They have a moral system where, it's not just business. It's a family. And that means a lot to everybody here.
Santa Barbara Bowl's education outreach provides much needed support for music and performing arts events and programs for area students. $1 of every ticket sold to bowl events helps to fund arts education throughout Santa Barbara County.
Santa Barbara Backbeat. Find us on Facebook. Search SB Backbeat.
Here's a quick 101 of a guitar pickup and how it works. These pickups are actually magnets and a wrap coil with thousands of turns of wire called a bobbin. The job of the pickup is to convert vibration of the strings into an electrical signal that can be sent to an amplifier. The sound or tone of the pickup can vary by changing the strength of the magnets, more turns of the wire, and the size of the wire. Pickup placement can also make a big difference, along with how many pickups are used on the guitar.
So I got a chance to listen to Seymour's new CD. Can you share with us how it was that you came about being able to produce it for him?
Absolutely. Seymour and I have been friends for 30 years, and I saw him at a NAMM show, and he told me that he had acquired a Pro Tools system, a recording system, and I offered to go and set it up for him, and we ended up doing that, and in the course of setting it up, we ended up with a little song that we put together just to show him what every element of the system did. And on the way home, I got a call from Seymour, and he said, "Dougie, I want you to produce my CD." And I was very excited about that. And we ended up doing it, and it turned out fantastic.
On the same token, it's amazing to me how much handwork Seymour Duncan puts into the making of guitar pickups. So come with me as we take a sneak peek and find out how they're really made.
Single coil pickups start their life with a bobbin that is made out of a material called 4-bond. And we take a top piece of 4-bond and a bottom piece of 4-bond, and we hold them together with 6 pole pieces, each of which is a magnet. Then the pickup is, or I should say the bobbin, is ready to get wound. We wind a very thin strand of copper wire thousands of times around the bobbin. We have various different types of winding machines in the factory. The oldest and one of the most interesting is the Green Monster. That's the Lisona Model 102. This is the winding machine that Gibson used in their Kalamazoo, Michigan factory from the late 1940s up until the late 1970s when we purchased it. We use this machine to wind our vintage Gibson replica pickups. So for instance, when you buy the Seymour Duncan 59 model, which is one of our most popular pickups, it's actually wound on the same machine that was winding pickups in Gibson's factory in 1959. Most of the winding, however, happens on more modern machines like these computer numerical control machines. These have programs which account for the number of turns, the speed, the angle, how fast the windings are distributed on the bobbin, all the factors that go into determining the sound of the pickup. After the bobbins come off of the winding machines, it's basically a bobbin with a hair-thin wire on either end, and it needs to get hooked up. And a lot of what you see here in the production floor is what we call hookup or pigtailing, where you're taking those hair-thin wires and you're connecting them to bigger wires. Some of the bigger wires are used in the internal construction of the pickup, and some are the wires that will actually be trailing off the pickup, and the end user will, or the repair person, will install them in the guitar. And finally, when you get to the end of the pigtailing and hookup area, the pickups take a bath. They take a bath in a molten mix of paraffin and beeswax. But it's not just a regular dipping in wax. This is a vacuum chamber, and it causes a very strong vacuum to be created and causes the wax to permeate all the way to the very center of the pickup. After the pickups come out of the wax, they need to have the excess wax taken off. And then the pickups are pretty much ready for the final quality control inspection. Once everything checks out, specs out, then the pickups go over to the packaging area. And that's the life of a pickup here at Seymour Duncan.
Tom here is going to play with Seymour Duncan and his band, and I want to know, how was it that you got wrangled into doing this? Or should I say lucky enough to be here tonight?
Yeah, it's lucky enough to do this.
I agree.
I play with Flatfoot Joe, which is a band, Paul Davis, operations manager at Seymour Duncan. We're longtime friends. We play music together, and Seymour just happened to be interested in doing some music with us, and so we've done a couple performances and gotten together and done some music, and Seymour's an amazing player, very creative. The person that also spends so much time doing all the technological things to the guitar in itself has a vast feeling for how to use the guitar, and so his emotional playing and the things that he does, he always has a little trick up his sleeve. It's been a real treat so far playing with him, so I'm really enjoying it.
Well, we're really excited to have you tonight, and we've heard all about the emotional side of it and guitar pickups, but one thing that we haven't found out about is how to make a guitar pickup look old. To me, it's called vintage. And trust me, Eddie Van Halen really wanted one. So check out the Seymour Duncan custom shop and what Eddie wanted.
So with us, we're doing so many cool projects from, we did all the Eddie Van Halen, Frankenstein guitars. We did David Gilmour, his Blackie. We're currently doing the George Harrison guitar, which I'm very proud of. I mean, it's a hard instrument. It's very well worn. We're trying to replicate and duplicate all the wear marks of the original pickups.
Eddie Van Halen brought his guitar in here about 3 years ago for us to duplicate the pickups on his Frankenstein guitar. And one of the good things is that besides that they wanted the pickup to be as relic as it is right now, but with the tone that it was back in 1978, when we talk about two different techniques, because on this one, we needed to ace the different way of playing that Eddie does. A way to ace the screws and the studs and the bottom plate and everything is different than the one I'm acing for George Harrison, which is with the cover, different type of playing, different acing on different parts. And to make these pickups, sometimes on this one I only had a picture to work with. With the pickup from Eddie, it was a little easier. I had pictures to work with. Pictures that Seymour took in here while Eddie was here in the company with me. He was able to spend 2 days here with us at the same time that we needed to ace, and he approved everything that we had done for him.
And I came up with so many aging processes of how to make things look old. So for us in the antiquities, which is my nest egg, my little baby that I take care of, and So I signed every pickup that goes out. I sign every one. I mean, it's really a neat thing. You know, we worked with U2, you know, and from the Beach Boys and so many of the great session players. And it's so neat to be a part of that. You know, they're extensions of Seymour Duncan here. You know, we consider them part of our family, and we have so many great clientele. You can see, you know, from Peter Frampton and Gloria Estefan and Don Felder from the Eagles and Joe Walsh. We worked with AC/DC, I mean, and ZZ Top. I mean, we've done so much for Billy Gibbons and ZZ Top band and stuff, you know. And Peter Frampton calls MJ all the time and says, "Oh, I got a new project," you know, or Billy will call, and Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top, he'll come into Santa Barbara here, and we'll go out to, he loves Mexican food, so we'll go out to the local restaurant, you know.
When musicians like Billy Gibbons, Steve Miller, Los Lobos had, you know, stopped the show, you know, and either dedicate a song to me. I believe it's been wonderful when they take the moment to say, "Thanks, MJ, for the great tone." But there was one who usually topped them all, you know. We went to Thievery Corporation, and I believe it was Massive Attack. And we were at the show, and when we arrived at the show, they have my initials on the bass amp, you know, with fluorescent, you know, tape. And it was great to see my name right on the stage. It was, you know, it was incredible.
And we recently did the Seymour Duncan 35 guitar, which is a replica of my old Telegib, and we started out with 35 of them, which I'm very proud of. And we gave the first one to Jeff Beck last week down when he was playing in Pomona at a show down there. And he's always been my main guitar guy just growing up. And it's important for me to put something I made in my guitar and take it out and play it and let other people hear it, which is so cool, you know, and to be able to do that, you know. And I couldn't ask for anything better, you know, and then have your own design guitar with Fender, and they're always sending me parts so I can always put together some little Frankenstein guitars and everything. So I've been very lucky in that respect, you know. I'm so cool about that, you know. And I'm proud of it, and proud to be, call myself a guitarist, you know.
Here's a short note for you. In a wedding ceremony in London in 2001, guitar fan Chris Black married his Stratocaster.
Santa Barbara Bowls Education Outreach provides much needed support for music and performing arts events and programs for area students. $1 of every ticket sold to bowl events helps to fund arts education throughout Santa Barbara County.
Santa Barbara Backbeat. Find us on Facebook. Search SB Backbeat.
You don't see many of these anymore. Vacuum tubes. Televisions and radios all used to have tubes. Now, for most purposes, they have been replaced with solid-state transistors. Are the tube days gone forever? Maybe not. Guitar amplifiers have come a long way since the early days of electric guitar. However, solid-state amplifiers didn't dominate like expected. Vintage equipment, such as tube amps, still reign as the royalty of the industry. Tube amps still provide the warmest sound with the highest quality. These amps are the tried and true favorites of most electric guitar playing musicians today. In fact, 90% of the musicians still use tube amps. Included are heavy metal bands System of a Down and Metallica.
Seymour, thank you so much for being here with us today. And first, I'd like to congratulate you on 35 years in the business. That's so exciting.
Very much.
Yeah, so we know that you gave your first of 35 Seymour Duncan Anniversary Edition guitars to Jeff Beck.
Yep.
I want to know why, out of all the musicians that use your guitar pickups, why Jeff Beck?
Jeff has always been such an influence to me. I've known him for a long time. We like hot rods, we like guitars, and I was very lucky for him to give me his original Yardbirds guitar, and from back in 1965. And then I made him a guitar in 1973 that he used on the Blow by Blow album, and he got his first album and his first Grammy. So for me, that was very exciting to be able to do that. And it was my first JB model pickup that I actually made too. And it was a guitar originally called the Telegib, but now I call it the Seymour Duncan 35, and it was just like this that I gave to Jeff. So I'm very proud of it, and to me, he deserves it. Out of all the guitar players I've known over the years, he's the guitar player's guitarist. He's fantastic.
Thank you again, Seymour. And we won't keep you waiting any longer. I'd like to introduce the Seymour Duncan Band playing McGriff. Well, that's it. Hope you enjoyed the show. And please remember to support music and musicians in our community. See you next time on Backbeat. A big thanks to Playback Recording Studio for supplying the location for Backbeat. Playback Recording Studio is a cutting-edge recording facility for film, television, and music production. If you would like to be on Backbeat or have any ideas or interesting stories of people that make a difference in our community by using music, please go to our Facebook page